Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? It is the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, the GOATs, the OGs. Doc, we are back to work, my friend, and we have some news. But first, we got to pay this off. Last week, you beat me in a fantasy baseball playoff game. It was 5-5. You won the tiebreaker. It goes to the higher seed. I was actually not butthurt about losing in that way. It's very standard in a lot of leagues. And so how'd your game go against Strikeout Larry?
Last night, Sunday night, we were tied 5-5, I was up on Saturday, and then we were tied all day yesterday. And then his guy hit a home run late to tie me in home runs and thus beat me 6-4. So I lost. So I'm playing the number 1 seed. So it's 3 versus 1 for third place. And then it's 2 versus 4 for the championship. So yeah, that's where we are. I lost.
Well, sorry about that, man.
It's okay.
Couple of basketball guys trying to win the baseball league. We gave it.
Hey, we did pretty well. We did not embarrass ourselves.
I knew that. I mean, I already knew that, but we did not. We did not.
No, we did well. And my football team, I've only got one fantasy football team, but that thing's a juggernaut, dude. I absolutely just rolled this loud. This guy in my league drives me nuts. Not a huge fan. And he was talking smack and calling me arrogant. And I just beat his, into the ground, destroyed him. It's like, I think I'm up 140-90, and I'm projected to score like 185. I still have Derrick Henry and another guy going tonight. So let's go.
Do you know this guy? Why would he call you arrogant?
I know him, but I mean, it's not like I chose him to be in my circle of people. And I think he was kidding. It was on the league chat. Group chat message. Who knows? He's just this whole, when you work in the industry and then you play against like random dudes, sometimes they don't. They want to. I talk smack. I don't know, but it's all good. It's all good.
I know exactly what that is. You're one of the GOATs, so you talk, and I don't know that but to call you arrogance a little much, and it would create a very big chip on my shoulder and create a lot of edge and a lot of inspiration to kick that guy's ass. And I'm glad you did. Guys, word to the wise, if you're watching us right now on Twitter, just a heads up, not every off-season episode will be available on this platform. Please make sure to subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed to catch every episode and stay in the loop. And know right now our NBA draft guide is up and alive and breathing and growing on sportsethos.com. So go check that out if you would. All right, Doc, we have some news. I'm at Katiki on the beach on Friday night, seeing a band. I just got done playing a little beach concert myself, and
I've been there, right?
Yeah, that was the place we went to. Yeah, the last place we went to on that Saturday night. Right on the beach is badass. So I'm in there and I'm having some chicken wings. I look up at the TV. Tyler Herro out for the beginning of the season. What? Well, we have some good material for Monday's show on the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Tyler Herro's expected to miss around 8 weeks after undergoing surgery on his foot and ankle. So he injured his left ankle earlier in the summer, underwent surgery on Friday after PRP treatments and cortisone shots failed to address the case of the posterior impingement syndrome adequately. Yikes. And so, Doc, let's do some math here. 8 weeks. So we are late September, so late October, late November. Dude, we're at like Thanksgiving before we get Herro back. This definitely is going to create a live ranking adjustment. And so talk to me about this. How are you processing the Tyler Herro news coming off, Doc, a career year?
Yeah, Brew and I talked about this a little bit on Friday. We didn't have the hard and fast time frame of 8 weeks. So, I think we said at the time, how's this going to impact where we draft Tyler Herro? And I think we both agreed we needed more information to see like how long he's going to be out. Thanksgiving's not the end of the world, but it is like the first month of the season, which is not cool. So it does, it hurts Tyler Herro, and it makes my guys, Davion Mitchell and Norman Powell, a lot more interesting, at least for the first month of the season, if not the first half.
I'm worried about Tyler Herro, Doc. He's a bit fragile. I'm not going to call him soft. Brandon Ingram's soft. Not D'Angelo Russell's soft. These guys get hurt and you never see him again. Tyler Herro's not that guy. But Tyler Herro, Doc, has look at the back of the basketball card. Look at the games played column. It's not great. Last year, obviously, was different. He had a career year. So add him to the list, dude. Right? Coming off a career year. Guess what? He's not going to do this year what he did last year. And he might have without the injury. But now this is a 1+1 for me. You're coming off a career year. You're like you've never had before. You've added all kinds of firepower. You got Bam, you got Wiggins, you got Powell. So maybe there was going to be attrition anyway that I'm ignoring. But now you're coming in hurt, and it's a foot, it's a lower extremity. We're talking about impingements and syndromes, bro. No. Bye-bye. Off the list. Will not be drafted. Y'all can have him. I'm completely out. This is where me and Tyler, this is where we part ways in the road, bro. For this year, next year.
This is a live rankings dismantling brought to you by FanDuel.
Yes, it is. I just sunk his battleship, didn't I?
Dude, I mean, you're right. I mean, if he comes back good to go in November, like I said, it's not the end of the world. But if he has any issues or problems or it lingers or, yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's going to be hard. I have trouble drafting guys who are injured, already injured before the season starts. Now, it's going to be very important for us to check our injured reserve list and see how many spots we have and what the rules are for putting players on there. And it's also going to depend on how far Tyler Herro falls. But his ADP was in what, the 30s, I think. So, I don't know where he would have to fall to for me to draft him. It sounds like Rick's not messing with him. I think if he got down in the 70s or 80s, I might take a flyer and throw him on an IR. But his ADP certainly should take a huge hit.
So, Doc, I had Tyler Herro at 28. I have not updated that yet. Let me go to the 70s and see if I would take Herro over these guys. That's why that's why you're a Hall of Famer. That's why you the man. In my 70s, I'm seeing Nebhard, Claxton. It's Sleeperville, right? Pritchard, Podziemski. I like it. I'm with it. If Herro falls 4 rounds, I might mess with him. You have reeled me back in because I would. I mean, I'm going back to Doc. I would like Podziemski or Herro, right?
I would rather take a flyer on Herro.
Me too. I'd rather miss a month, miss 6 weeks, whatever that is, than Podziemski. So will Herro fall into the 70s
or the 60s? I mean, he might be worth a look in the 60s too.
Let me look at the 60s here. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. There's some guys in the 60s I like. It's debatable. The 70s is bang on. The 60s is I don't know if I'm ready to do it yet. Because I'm seeing some guy. I mean, I have Morant and LaMelo in the 60s. Boy, that's a debate right there. I'm taking Herro. Over LaMelo Ball and Ja Morant. And those mofos are healthy right now. And I'm taking a busted up, kind of sort of fragile Herro over LaMelo Ball and Ja Morant. Yes, it's true. Would you?
Well, the reality is LaMelo's not going to be there in the 70s. That's where you have him ranked so that you don't have to worry about him. Like that is like in the movie Stripes when that general or that sergeant or whatever got sent off to Siberia, never to be heard from again. That's where you have LaMelo Ball and Ja Morant ranked. They're long gone by the time they get to where you have them ranked, so you don't need to make that decision. That's why they're there. And you can't like totally disrespect them and put, Jot at 150th. You had to put him at 70th.
Yeah, I know.
But I do. This does give me, like, I was kind of sad coming into the season because I really like Davion Mitchell and I love his defense. I love what he did last year, and I was like, well, I don't know where he fits in on this team. Certainly not the same role he had at the end of last year with Norman Powell there, but now this changes things, and I will try to be drafting Davion Mitchell again later in my drafts, and it also gives Norman Powell a little bit of a boost, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think it gives Andrew Wiggins a little boost as well. It may be short-lived, but, this is huge news, man, and it's bad news for the Heat. Their top scorer is going to miss, I mean, let's just be conservative here, a month to 6 weeks of the regular season. They say 8 weeks, but this is pesky right here. I mean, we're talking about syndromes and knives and blood and all kinds of stuff, man. And so it may take a little bit longer here. We have more injury news, Doc. And you know what? Anthony Davis continues to just get beat up and take L's and drop. So, and again, I apologize if you and Brew covered this, but, since I last was on Thursday, some of this news. So Anthony Davis, Doc, Mark Stein reported that he returned to practice.
We have not talked about Anthony Davis, so let it rip, brother.
Okay. It's not Embiid-esque where every word is negative and ominous. It's not, but it's not that much better. Okay. It's not. Mark Stein indicated that AD participated in 5-on-5. It's believed that it is his first live practice since undergoing eye surgery in July. Eye surgery? What? And so, dude, I'm just going to stop right there. Anthony Davis has not had a 5-on-5 practice since July. What kind of shape is this guy in? Bro, we are a week from media day. 1 week, 7 days, bro, from media day. And homie just got back on the court? Are you serious? Bro, I would not touch him with a 10,000-mile pole, okay? And already, he's late first round for a lot of people. This guy. So, y'all, I already wasn't going to draft him. But now, Doc, he's gone from a zombie, which meant I might mess with him in the right spot, too. Y'all can have him. I mean, I would take – let me go to my rankings here real quick, Doc. Let me see if I can drop him anymore.
I have never seen a player – fall this hard and this long. We started out with him in like top 5, top 10. And now he's like down there in the like hundreds. It's
all right.
Like 10 spots a day for 2 months.
So last week I updated my rankings, right? I mean, like we talked about, it is a living, breathing document. It's alive. Okay. There's no end to your rankings. Stuff happens, you change. Okay, I had Davis at 21. I had him above Cat, above Sabonis, above Murray, above Siakam, above Giddey, above Jackson. He's going to go below all those guys. Then I had Herro. He's falling. Reeves, Bane, Amen. Dude, I mean, bye. He's below all these guys now. Holmgren, Adebayo, Şengün, Brandon Miller. You know what? I'm putting him down here with Maxey. To the little mid draft banish zone, dude. Is there any scenario in which you would mess with Anthony Davis this year?
I'm not going to say no, because if he somehow plays and stays healthy, you have a chance to win your league because you drafted him. But there's so much risk. So, I mean, he's going to go in the first round in almost every draft, no matter what you and I say about him. As hard as we try to bury him, he's going to go top 15 anyway. So, I mean, by the time I would be ready to look at him seriously, which is like late second, mid third, I mean, he's not going to be there. So I don't need to worry about it. But I'm not planning on having Anthony Davis on any of my teams.
Bro, there's already no motivation at all. We've talked about this. He's a boot and yo ass guy. He's been sitting on his butt for 2 months, not practicing. Oh, he's been working out and on. I mean, what has he been able to do? If you're rehabbing an eye thing, you got to stay still, right? You got to let your eye heal. So, like, what has he been doing? Has he been running? Has he been lifting? I kind of doubt it. I mean, I anticipate seeing a doughy Anthony Davis. When we pop on that first preseason game, I'm going to be like, I mean, maybe he's in good shape. I don't know this, but I highly doubt it. But here's the thing, Doc. Caitlin Clark, when you look at her, she's in good shape, right? There's no fat on her. She's not doughy. But guess what? She was in horrendous shape. She popped like 4 different body parts. And her Fever just beat Vegas yesterday in game 1 of their playoff series without her. So you can look like you're in shape and not be in shape and not be conditioned enough to play this rigorous game. And I fear that with Anthony Davis. So
and let's not forget that he kind of got LeBron kind of ran him out of LA. So he got ripped away from LeBron by LeBron, basically. Then he gets to Dallas and they bring in Cooper Flagg. Well, they're handing the keys to the city and every other key they can find to him, and Anthony Davis kind of gets ignored. And then you've got Kyrie Irving out for probably the whole year, and you're going to have Anthony Davis in and out of the lineup. I don't have a great feeling about this year.
I don't think it's going to go well at all. Y'all knock yourselves out. Doc, last year, one of the streamer darlings of fantasy basketball, Keon Johnson, was waived by the Brooklyn Nets. It's the Nets. Who cares? Like, it's Keon Johnson. Like, but I mean, we literally messed with him last year. He was one of the streamer homies, and he out of a job right now so that the Nets can play all of these young fellas that they got. And maybe this is even more of a boost to Kobe Buffkin right now. But how did that hit you when you saw that Keon Johnson got dumped?
Let's just say if I was a human Richter scale, it hardly registered. It was a very small earthquake. I don't really care. It's Keon Johnson. It's the Nets. Am I curious as to where he'll end up and what his role will be? Sure. Does it free up some space for other guys to do stuff on the Nets? Yes, but tell you what, man, looking at that Nets depth chart, it will hurt your head. You know how sometimes, Ricks, I will get an email and they'll be like, hey, I'm looking at this trade. And it'll be like 5 studs over here and 6 studs over here and a draft pick. And you're looking at it, you're like, oh my God, no, my head's going to explode. I can't look at it. That's the way the Nets depth chart is. Like, it's just a confusing mess. And I can't wrap my head around it.
It's pretty ugly. It's a Ben Suraf trade as I view it, Doc, because he was on my 3rd string, 1st round pick. Keon Johnson I had behind Cam Thomas, pardon me. Now I've got Ben Suraf, and then they picked up Ricky Council. Remember him, the former Sixer. And they do got to play the young guys. I mean, I get that, but I'm kind of anyway. So Keon Johnson got dumped. We will keep it moving here. Grant Williams and Josh Green of the Charlotte Hornets are hurt. Josh Green, shoulder, not expected to participate in training camp, so take him out. He had surgery in June. And Grant Williams, we know he tore his ACL last November. He's not expected to participate in training camp. So in terms of Charlotte evaluations, it doesn't impact Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, LaMelo Ball, guys like that. But I have these guys on my second string right now. These were rotational guys before going down. So it would help Tajon Salon, Colin Sexton, Trey Mann, and some of the guys off of that bench. And then finally, Doc, let me see if I have one more note here. Did you see the back and forth between Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant? Did you and Brew cover that?
Nope.
So I keep trying to find it. I'm sorry if I brought it up and I won't be able to say all this stuff.
Oh, you know what? I think I did see that. It was on Twitter, right?
Yeah, they went. Edwards saw a picture of Giannis, and he said, year 19, but still built like rookie Giannis. And Durant responded, 3 kids born in the same year with different moms? That's insane. Oh, it just got real. Or did it?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he said he saw a picture of Durant and he compared him to rookie skinny Giannis, because saying Durant, isn't muscular enough, I guess. And then Katie shot back with the baby mama kid thing. It's like, wow. Yeah, I did happen to catch that over the weekend. Then I scrolled. I just kept scrolling. I just read it, just kept moving. I forgot what I do for a living.
Dude, I really want to know if there's beef between these guys or not, because we know that there's at least a friendly rivalry. You remember the playoff thing with the Wolves and the Suns, and Edwards is barking at him, right? And Durant kind of had that little grin on his face, like, I like you, young fella, but bleep you right now. They played on the Olympic team together, right? Help me out. I'm 101% sure, but minus like 1.5%.
They did.
And so they were like buddies, and like there were boys on that team, and it was a whole story, like the Ant-Man Durant thing. But check it out, Doc. You've got the Wolves, you've got the Rockets. I mean, both these teams want the same exact thing. Edwards and Durant literally are in each other's way right now as the top guys on those teams. And then you've got them. I mean, dude, you know what this is to me? Ant-Man, that was a funny line by Ant-Man, and really kind of like, what's the word? Kind of benign, right? Like, he talked about Durant being skinny. Durant's always been skinny. He's always going to be skinny. Nothing's ever going to change with that. He just made a funny observation, and Kevin Durant nuked him. Do you know what I mean? This is like a leader from another country going like, I don't really like that Trump guy. And Trump pushes the button and just nukes the country, right? It's like, dude, Durant, what's up? It's a little bit of an overreaction to me.
Came back pretty strong, yeah. And maybe they're just goofing around, because I think it's public knowledge that Ant has done what he's done. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. It does. I do like your call though, because Ant was like, yeah, man, you're skinny, and yeah, he went nuclear. And it's funny. You just remember when Durant was at the combine and he couldn't lift very much weight, and everybody's like, oh, this guy. Everybody's worried about Kevin Durant. No need.
Yeah, he's dispelled a lot of stuff with body type, obviously the Achilles. Hey, guys, it is Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. And for those watching us live on Twitter, welcome to the show. Not every episode will be available on this platform. Please be sure to subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. If you want to hang out with us live, head over and subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel, and you can drop your questions over there or on the Sports Ethos Discord situation, and we will answer those questions for you here on the show. All right, let's move on, Doc, and get into our round by round circus here. We're having so much fun with this. We are on the top 60 right now. Doc and Brew did the top 48 on Friday. So now we go from 49, Doc, to 60. And we will end the show talking about some finals futures and evaluate the betting market with that. So 49, Doc, is Desmond Bane. Do you like this ADP? Do you agree with this ADP for Desmond Bane at 49?
Yeah. What's that? The first pick of the 5th round? That sounds right for Desmond Bane. I liked him more at Memphis, where he was sort of like the guy, the offensive weapon of that team, him and Ja Morant, because Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a big offensive threat. But in Orlando, you got Franz Wagner and Paolo and Jalen Suggs. So I think that's right for Desmond Bane. I'm not as excited about him this year as I was a couple of years ago when he was in Memphis. And I just felt like he was on the verge of taking off and running that team. I don't think he's going to do that in Orlando because he doesn't have to, because he's got teammates that ball.
I just don't think this ADP is right. And I'm not super high on Desmond Bane. I just think I'm appropriately high on him. His stat line is nice, fills a lot of categories. He gives you rebounds, he gives you assists, doesn't really help in steals. Obviously, an elite 3-point shooter. But
sorry,
nice little ditty. Little background noise.
That means it's time for me to get up and get ready for my podcast, which we normally do at 11. Just so I don't forget it. I forgot to turn the alarm off, Rick.
We're always forgetting something around here. But I have Desmond Bane higher than this.
I have him 48.
Bane. Really?
Yeah. But I mean, my list it's outdated. There's like Anthony Davis is still on the first page. But yeah, my initial rankings, I had Bane at 48.
I don't know, man. I've always been I traded for Desmond Bane, bro. Like in the Cam Dynasty.
Are you saying you would take him earlier than this?
I would take him earlier than this.
Okay. All right.
I would take him, honestly, a decent amount earlier than this. But I traded for him in the Cam Dynasty, and this trade was born of inspiration because Andre got Wemby. And I'm like, obviously good for him. Like, it's an amazing trade and all that. And I'm happy for him. He's a huge Spurs fan and a huge Wemby fan. Andre Lamouche is our great producer and boss, by the way. But the Latvian 007, as I like to call him. But Brew's making power moves. Andre's making power moves, Doc. And I was like, well, I got to do something. You know what I mean? It's like the trade deadline in Daryl Morey, right? Like, Daryl Morey is going to do something. Do you know what I mean, Doc? He's going to make something happen, whether it's a good move or a bad move, which was the Paul George move. That was a bad move. But he made something happen. So I acquired Desmond Bane. But again, this is a long haul thing with Bane, right? I'm not geeked about him this year. I'm not. I mean, you've got Paulo, you've got Franz, you've got Suggs. I'm not geeked about him. I just overall kind of mess with Desmond Bane in fantasy. So, all right. So you're right on ADP. And I'm a little bit above ADP here with Desmond.
And either way, he's going to be solid. Like, I'm not scared of drafting Desmond Bane. I don't want to draft him too early.
You said the word. He's just solid, right? Dude, Austin Reeves, right? The guy's just solid. His numbers, just solid numbers across the board, dude. Desmond Bane, solid. Funny. I didn't even know, as I said that.
I thought
Austin Reeves is next.
I thought you were segueing us into number 50, Austin Reeves.
Boy, I could have been so much smoother with that segue. I really butchered that, didn't I, Doc? But Austin Reeves is next.
FanDuel.
But Austin Reeves is next at 50. Do you agree with this ADP?
Um, I have him going around earlier than that, and I think people like Austin Reeves, and people want Austin Reeves on their team, and people are going to reach for Austin Reeves. So I think he's going more like late 3, sometime in round 4, as opposed to round 5. So I would love to see Austin Reeves sitting there at 50 in my drafts.
I mean, apparently this is very, very possible. This is the ADP right now on Austin Reeves. Again, I have him 2 rounds higher than this ADP, Doc. Austin Reeves is going to give you 20. He's going to give you 5. He's going to give you 5. He's going to give you a steal, and he's going to give you close to 3 threes. To me, when you're going basically 25 and 5-ish with a steal and with 3 threes, that's a badass stat line. That stat line should not be floating to 50 in your draft, in my opinion. Now, there are guys like Embiid, Porzingis, Morant, LaMelo, like several like big name guys that would ordinarily be above Reeves. I don't have them above Reeves. I've sort of wrang out the rag of all the water and like whoop, and then the cream rises to the top. Because I don't, like Doc said it. I mean, I'm not trying to like rank LaMelo and Morant. It's just literally where I'm comfortable taking them. That's my thought process with ranking them as low as I have them. I didn't just like randomly banish them to the 70s, right? Like I vet player by player, player by player, player by player, and that's where they landed. But Austin Reeves, Doc, I've got at least I think he's a solid 3rd round pick, dude. I think he is a solid 3rd round pick. I'm with you though. I don't feel the stats say he should be a 3rd round pick, but I don't feel great about Austin Reeves in the 3rd round just by name. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's like, I'm taking Austin Reeves in the 3rd round, really? But yes, the stats say that you should.
Yeah, but I'm way more comfortable getting him in the 4th or 5th, man. I don't want to use my 3rd round pick on Austin Reeves, but I might do it.
So, Doc, this is why we do this. This is why we collide our brains on the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Is because, okay, so he's being ADP'd in the 5th round. I have him in the 3rd round. So the target zone is the 4th round, right? Because I just told you I'm feeling a little squirmy about Reeves in the 3rd round. I feel like I can just get a more badass guy in that round. And so I may be able to float Reeves 1 round based on the greater opinion of fantasy basketball guys and girls and get him in the 4th round. Bing! That's the plan. That's the plan. How many people do you think have Austin Reeves on the rankings in the 3rd round? It's probably not a huge number, right? Especially if the ADP is at 50.
True.
All right, dude. 51 is Trey Murphy. Do you agree with this ADP?
I was off Trey Murphy until you told me last week or the week before that he's healthy coming into training camp and like ready to go. Young guy with nothing but upside. I will happily draft Trey Murphy this year. As far as that ADP, given the lack of, as you say, stats on the back of his basketball card, and the fact he hasn't really proven all that much because he's been hurt a lot and just hasn't been around that long, I think, round 5 feels very appropriate to me. So, yeah, I'm good with this ADP.
I can basically copy and paste what I said about Austin Reeves to Trey Murphy, minus the injury. I've got him quite a bit higher than this, Doc, but I'm not going to have to take him probably where I have him slotted, which is beginning around 4. This ADP says he's round 5. Okay, cool. So I mean, Trey Murphy in round 5 is bang on. If you want to take him somewhere in the 4th round, you have my blessing. I've got him ranked as a 4th round guy. But there's a lot of really debatable guys in here. Like I've got Maxey in this round. I've got Jaylen Brown in this round. Jalen Johnson in this round. Why do I have those guys in this round? They're so much better than that, blah, blah, blah. I'm afraid about a tank with Maxey. I'm afraid about a shutdown with Jaylen Brown. And I'm afraid about strike 3 with Jalen Johnson. Okay. So these guys all have drag to their value for me. Trey Murphy doesn't really have a lot of drag on his value right now, Doc. We know that Zion at some point is going to blow a tire or whatever the hell is going to happen to him because he hates basketball. And Trey Murphy literally is going to be the number 1 in New Orleans before too long. It's not going to be that long. And he will be the number 1 option.
Yeah. You're right.
All right. How about number 52, Doc? It is Jimmy Butler.
Interestingly, Brewski was talking about Jimmy last week, and he's like, I'm a Jimmy Butler guy. I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. Jimmy Butler's won me money over the years. And I was like, interesting, because I don't know that I've even ever had Jimmy Butler on one of my teams. And he did play very well for Golden State once he got out of Miami last year. He's probably going to play well for them again. And, I'm not a Jimmy guy. Even it's stupid of me to say this, but I'm not drafting Jimmy Butler. I'm just not going to do it. He doesn't shoot threes. He's Hollywood. He doesn't care about basketball that much. And he's not my guy. He's not one of my guys. I'm not drafting him. There's other players that will be taken around the same time Jimmy's taken that I would like to have on my team. Now, is 52 a fair place for Jimmy Butler in Golden State? Absolutely. It would not be hard for him to hit 5th round value this year at all. Like I feel like he would almost have to try not to in order to not hit 5th round value.
Like failing gym class. You've got to try to fail gym class. Just show up, and they're going to give you a C. You got to try to fail gym class. Like if you never go to class, they'll fail you. That was a rhyme from back in the day. Do kids even relate to that now? I don't know. We are the Fantasy NBA today, though. We're brought to you by FanDuel, and we're the GOATs. We're the OGs. We've been doing this for a while. We have the gray hairs to prove it. Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer, Steve Alexander. Jimmy Butler with an ADP of 52. Doc, to me, this is pretty much bullseye. I've got him a handful of spots higher than this, but especially when we're talking about the 3rd pick, the 7th pick, it gets a little bit more, I don't know, like if it's within 5 when you're this deep in the draft, that's kind of a bullseye where it wouldn't be in the 1st round. I hope that makes some kind of statistical sense.
It does.
But I've got Jimmy Butler just a few spots higher than here. I've got him late 4th round. Again, I'm not really about Jimmy Butler late in the 4th round. I'd rather have him in the 5th round, Doc. May slide there, may not. Warriors are very it team and all that kind of stuff. They have Curry, and Butler's still an it guy. People love Jimmy Butler. I think a lot of them don't know the whole story. If you know the whole story about Jimmy Butler, and I'm not saying that there's like off the field stuff. Not saying that. I'm just saying about how he like tricks off regular seasons. But I think that Jimmy Butler, look, I saw a different Butler in Golden State. And so I'm back on Jimmy Butler because I'm promiscuous in fantasy basketball. I'll put it that way. I'm promiscuous. Okay. So Jimmy once was dead to me. Now he's undead. All right. I actually think he's going to play. I actually think he's not going to milk injuries like D'Angelo Russell or Brandon Ingram. I actually think he's going to have a pretty kick-ass year, be around 25-5 with like 1.7. The steal number is going to be fantastic. And obviously he's not going to give you threes. But I mean, at this point, right, we take bigs that hit threes. Everybody's hitting threes. I think we can handle one cat that's not hitting threes. If you have 2 or 3 guys that aren't hitting threes, you're going to lose that category. You can have one guy, but it's got to only be one guy. And then you got to have a bunch of threes. And I'm talking about 3 threes per game to make up for that, but you can do that. Okay. So I'm pretty much bang on with that Butler ADP. How about Jarrett Allen, Doc, at 53? Do you like that ADP?
Jarrett Allen played in 82 games last year, 13.5 points, 10 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Nothing wrong with that. He's as vanilla as they come. Like, there's no upside. There's no excitement. You're just getting his stats. And you know what you're going to get from night to night. So I'm fine with drafting Jarrett Allen. I doubt 5th round is too early, man. There's still studs to be had in round 5. And Jarrett Allen just is not a stud. I want a guy with upside, a guy with potential to be a lot better than his draft position. And that's not Jarrett Allen. So I do not like this ADP. I think he should be going later in drafts.
This ADP is awful. It's awful. You guys, for the love of God, people are overrating Jarrett Allen so much. Why? Is it the fro? Is it the 82? Why? Guys, for a big to be ranked this high, you've got to impact the block shot category. You have to. Doc, this ADP isn't even close. It's one of the worst ADPs I've seen in the evaluations that we've done so far. I've got Jarrett Allen at 71, bro. I've got him at 71. We're talking about an ADP of 53. I am 2 rounds off, dude. And I've got him at 71. I don't know what else to say. He's solid, he's consistent, and he's really, really boring. And you know what, Doc? He's not a guy that you win fantasy championships with. He's not. He's not a difference maker, bro. Sunday, big day, head-to-head playoff game. You need goodies. Jarrett Allen's going to give you 11, 9, and 1, dude. You're not breaking any ground with 11, 9, and 1 on Sunday of a head-to-head playoff matchup, and that's what you're going to get.
Correct. I mean,
so go ahead.
No, I already said everything I need to say.
All right, so we guys want you to join the Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball Leagues. This is exciting stuff. Hundreds of GMs from around the world compete in our leagues, and the winners earn a spot in the exclusive Sports Ethos Challenge Leagues, where you will face off against our pros, including us. Joining is simple. Just email support@sportsethos.com, and Andre will send you all the details. Again, support@sportsethos.com. All right, Doc, the next ADP up here is DeMar DeRozan at 54. Before I even get it to you, I'm going to say round 5 is the overrated round, bro. Are these people kidding here? Talk to me.
DeMar DeRozan, Mr. Mid-Game, Mr. Hey, look, I finally hit a 3-pointer per game for the first time in my career. Welcome to the club, DeMar. It's great to have you here. He plays on a dysfunctional team. He plays next to Zach LaVine, which is a weird pairing, and Domantas Sabonis. And I'm not drafting DeMar DeRozan. I think 5th round. For me, that works. Like, that's where he belongs. I'm just not taking him there.
No. You guys are overrating DeMar DeRozan by a lot. I've got him at 54. You guys have DeMar DeRozan at 54. I have DeMar DeRozan at 76. Come on, guys. You're better than this. You're way better than this. Cam, DeMar DeRozan's going to be 20 points a game. Yes, he is. No question about it. A lot of guys are going to give you 20 points a game. He's also going to give you 4 boards, 4 assists, not even a steal, and not even a 3. Again, like Jarrett Allen, you're not going to win your league with DeMar DeRozan, especially in the 5th round. You're not even going to win your league with DeMar DeRozan in round 7. He's not a difference maker that way. Fantasy Gold guys are the difference makers, and DeMar DeRozan's the anti-Wemby meter guy. When I say Fantasy Gold block steals threes, Fantasy Gold has sort of been rebranded as the Wemby meter. More on that coming up, but this is a horrible ADP on DeMar DeRozan. Oh my God, are you serious? Zach LaVine is next, Doc, at 55. Actually, I don't, and you're like, didn't you prepare for this? I don't like reading the ADPs because I like the live reaction. That's literally a method that I have. And bam, right there. Are you serious? DeRozan is 54 and LaVine is 55. Are you serious right now, dude? Do you like this ADP for Zach?
Dude, this is why we've been saying the third and the fourth round are the keys to your draft, because you get to the fifth round and we're dealing with these kind of questions. So the third and round one, you should have a really good idea of what you're doing in round one. Round two, you take whatever's left over from round one. But round three is when you have choices you need to start making. And round four is when you have a lot of choices you need to start making. And then round five is when people start taking Jared Allen's and DeMar DeRozan's and Zach LaVine's. And then that's how things kind of get off the rails sometimes. So Zach LaVine, I still feel like he's an injury waiting to happen kind of guy. I feel like he's miscast in Sacramento. I feel like he's one of the best natural scorers and athletes in the NBA. And I kind of like Zach LaVine. But I'm going to let somebody else draft him in the fifth round. I think that's where he'll go. I think that ADP makes sense. I'm not probably drafting Zach LaVine.
I'm a round later on Zach LaVine. I've got him at 64, and we are here at 54. I'm not taking Zach LaVine in round 5. I can tell you that right now. I don't even feel great about it in the round where I have him. Okay, I'm not super high on Zach LaVine. I was last year. We hit the nail with the hammer on that one. Had a really good year, especially the Chicago side of things. The numbers came down, obviously, in Sacramento with all the mouths they have to feed there. But I'm around later on Zach LaVine, so I do not agree with this ADP. Again, the most overrated round, and I love what you said, Doc. Round 3 is, to me, the most important round of your draft. Round 4 is almost as important. Round 1 and round 2, I mean, it's just a given. You got to nail it. You got to get studs. Round 3 and round 4 is where, like, the great from the good from the bad is going to separate. And then, obviously, as the draft goes on, that's going to continue. But I love what you said. Round 3 and round 4 are so freaking important. You have to nail those rounds. You have to minimize risk and optimize upside and just hit the sweet spot. And we're helping you with that, okay? Take our hand. We will lead you down the primrose path. Lauri Markkanen at 56, Doc. Stop laughing.
Oh, round 5 of this ADP, man. Woo. Nothing fun about it. Is the ADP appropriate? Yes. Am I taking Lauri Markkanen? No. I mean, when he plays, the numbers he puts up are pretty solid. But we know, look at the history. He never finishes out seasons. He plays in Utah. I don't want to mess with Utah if I can help it, especially with him. So I'm out.
All right, Doc. I just want you to guess a number between 1 and 100. This number that you're guessing is where I have Lauri Markkanen in my rankings. It is just a number between 1 and 100.
91.
You're very close, dude. Very close. 97 is where I have Lauri Markkanen.
I was going to say 98. And
Well done, dude. Well done. It's a bit of a trick question, right? Dude, he is so dead to me in fantasy basketball. He's not dead to me with the Finnish national team, which he played very, very well with. 4th place, I believe, at Eurobasket. Didn't they lose to Greece in the bronze game? I think that's how that went down. Obviously, he had a spectacular run. They got 4th place. He had a spectacular run, Doc, And now he's playing again for Danny Ainge. And Danny Ainge is going to be like, you love ball, right? You want to play? You can't play for me, bro. We tanking, yo. So you guys got to get your, I want to cuss right now, but I'm not going to. You got to get your SHOT together, okay? Come on. Are you serious? Lauri Markkanen at 56? Have you people not listened to us at all? This is a grotesque ADP. Probably my least favorite of the entire run here, Doc. So let's move on. In another horrible ADP, Kristaps Porzingis at 57. Homie, he ain't even going to play 57 games this year.
Oh, man. This round is something. Sure. I mean, as much as I don't like Lauri Markkanen, I'd rather draft him than Kristaps Porzingis. I don't want a guy on my team that's only going to play in half the games. And I don't care how healthy he is. I don't care that he plays for a new team, the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, I do care because I'm kind of a Hawks watcher. Hopefully he helps them win and be good. But, you know, the Celtics had him as a luxury item last year. They only played him half the season. It worked out. They didn't even, I mean, the year before last, it worked out. Last year, it didn't really. But yeah, no, I'm not drafting Kristaps Porzingis, even if he falls to like 90. And Rick, if you want me to guess where you've got Porzingis ranked, I'm going to guess it's somewhere right around 100, but I don't know.
101. I got him at 101. Dude, you're on fire right now. You're on fire. How dare you strike out Larry for beating my boy Doc? And because he's on a heater, Doc's texting me, dude, blasted another parlay here. I'm killing it in college and pro football. That's my boy over there, man. Go make that money, dude. So you can fill the golden tee machines with love, man. Keep playing.
Right. That's right.
All right, dude. So, but you said this round, man. Holy cow. Hey, I think a guy that we have a decently positive opinion about at 58, Doc, it is Coby White. Do you agree with this ADP on Coby White?
A return to normalcy.
Exactly.
Yes, this seems appropriate for Coby White. And he had a great year last year. Kind of one of my breakout guys last year. Josh Giddey signed with the Bulls. We still, Vooch could be on the move. We really don't know what the Bulls playbook says that they're going to do this season. If we could see into the future, that would help us make a firm decision on Coby White. But as it stands, he was good last year. The 5th round sounds right to me for him this year. And I think that's probably about the value he returned last year. So, yeah, I'm good with Coby White at 58.
I am as well, Doc. I'm not super high on Coby White. We've talked about this. I fear a trade. I fear a role change, none of which may happen. But again, I think it's clever evaluation and drafting and ranking if you consider these things. I don't think you can just take a dude's numbers and play it straight. Some guys you can, but some guys you can't. Doc said it. Chicago, where are they going? What are they doing? Are they tanking? Are they selling off? Are they adding to it? And we know that they're clueless and they have no idea what they're doing in the Karnisovas organization. And again, love the man, but I am not a fan of his GMing, dude, at all. Great man. Arturas Karnisovas, he's the guy in charge of the Bulls right now, obviously in the front office. So I'm right on it, dude. I have Coby White at 60. The greater ADP here is 58. I don't really want Coby White in round 5. Round 6, I feel better about it. So this is like, if he slips a little bit, I'm just going to be like, ooh, Coby White, kind of tingly about it. Round 5, I'm probably not taking him in round 5, dude. And I mean, as it is, it's the end of round 5, right? Beginning of round 6. So right on that swing is where I have him, so go ahead. Pardon.
Yeah, it just depends on who else is there. So, hey, for number 59, I'm going to let you lead the way with this one because this is one of your guys. And
all right, still don't know who 59 is. Ooh, this is one of my guys.
It is Walker Kessler.
Yes.
And I feel like at the end of whatever you say, I'll just say, and then we'll move on to 60.
I have Kessler at 49, Doc. I've got him around earlier here. 49. So I've got him at the beginning of this round, actually. I Walker Kessler in round 5, Doc. The stats say that we should take him here in round 5. Again, I'm not super pumped about taking Walker Kessler in round 5. You know what I'm saying? There's so much risk with him. But this is where the stats say to take him. So I am, pardon me. I'm basically on this ADP. I'm basically going to agree with this. I actually like this ADP more than my ranking.
Nice.
Which I don't think I've said once yet.
I think I've said over and over again, you don't need to draft centers early. They're a dime a dozen, blah, blah, blah. But Walker Kessler's blocks put him on a different plane and a different level on a different plateau. So you have to reach a little bit to get Walker Kessler. So round 5, round 6, I'm good with that. So I'm okay with this ADP.
Yep. One more last little thing. 60 games is still 60 games. Dying before March and April when it really matters sucks, but 60 games is 60 games, and the 13, 11, and 2.5 blocks is going to be really, really good for your team, even if he dies at the altar, which he kind of sort of did not last year. They were doing kind of a half-ass little half shutdown on Kessler, but they didn't fully shut down Kessler. Last pick around 5, Doc, at number 60 is Jalen Durant. Do you agree with this ADP?
Yeah, this one feels right to me. There's upside there. He plays for a good team. He's young. He's kind of fun. You could argue that this is the 6th round because it's the last pick of the 5th. And I'm okay with the last 3 guys we talked about: the Kobe, the Walker, Kessler, and the Jalen Durant. I'm okay with those ADPs.
I'm not okay with this ADP. This is too high for Jalen Durant. Again, guys, he does not block shots. Why are you taking him this early? Why are you taking him over Donovan Clingan? Why would you do that? That is not good business. That's how you're going to lose your fantasy basketball league. Taking Clingan is how you're going to win your fantasy basketball league. Taking Kessler is how you're going to win your fantasy basketball league. I mean, Jared Allen versus Walker Kessler. Dude, if I put you in a Houdini straitjacket with a ball gag in your mouth, would you draft him over Walker Kessler? Is there any scenario of torture where you would actually draft Jared Allen over Walker Kessler?
No. There is not.
I thought I was going to get a little bit more on that, but that's okay. All right. Jalen Durant, Doc. I'm at 72, so I'm a round off here on Jalen Durant. A round later is, he's a solid player and all that kind of stuff. Maybe one day he'll block shots. Maybe he will not. Doc, it is time for our FanDuel futures, and we want you guys to go to FanDuel.com and keep betting or set up an account if you want. We love FanDuel. So the 2025-2026 NBA Finals winner, okay? OKC is a plus 220. The Cavs are a plus 700. What? The Cavs? Please don't bet on that. Anybody, for the love of God, run from that bet. The Nuggets at a plus 900. Ooh, the Knicks. Wait a second. I forgot something. What's the best value pick around 5, Doc? I completely forgot that. My bad. Best value pick around 5, and then we'll get to the FanDuel futures here.
I'm going to say, dude, there's none that really stick out to me. I'm going to say Walker Kessler.
Ooh, I like it. For me, it's Austin Reeves. Like I said, I've got Reeves almost 20 spots higher than this. So I would say Austin Reeves. I think he's the best value pick of round 5. Okay, Doc, back to our story here. OKC plus 220, Cavs plus 700. Pardon me, Nuggets plus 900, Knicks plus 950, Rockets plus 1,000, Lakers plus 1,400, Magic plus 1,700, Clippers at 1,800, Timberwolves at 2,200, Warriors at 3,000, and I'll stop there. Give me one of those that you love. Give me one of those that you hate.
These odds are brought to us by FanDuel, and I'm intrigued by the OKC at plus 220 until they prove me wrong. So I wouldn't mind doing that. And then I'm very intrigued by the Clippers at plus 1,800 because on paper they look potentially like a championship team, as long as this whole Kawhi Leonard scandal doesn't sink their ship. And then which one of these do I not like? I mean, for you, it sounds like the Cavaliers with an injured Darius Garland. Yeah, I don't really have any that I hate. I mean, I think the Cavaliers were so good last year that it's hard to be too down on them. But I'm gonna go Cavaliers with being the one that I don't like.
My Cavalier, I don't hate the Cavs. I don't hate your team. I just hate this bet. And it really doesn't have anything to do with Garland not starting the season on time. It has everything to do with they're not going to win the East. They don't have the dog to win the East. Mobley doesn't have the dog. Allen doesn't have the dog. Garland doesn't have the dog. Donovan Mitchell got the dog. The other three guys don't have the dog in them to beat the New York Knicks, who are dripping with dog. That's all they have is dogs. Okay. So I hate the Cavaliers bet. And the one, I mean, you're more than doubling your investment on OKC. I mean, they might not win. Okay. But check out the odds. They're at a plus 220. Then it completely falls off the table to plus 700. Vegas is telling you there's nobody even in OKC's sphere right now. There's nobody even in their tier. They're in their own tier. So I would play, Doc. I would heavily invest in OKC, and also I would have some side money on the New York Knicks at a plus 950. I really like the Knicks at a plus 950. They may actually take us back to the early 1970s and get this one right here. And finally, Doc, make Spike Lee happy. All right, listener show. Listener question here. We shout out our buddy Ricardo Montez. He says, which side of this trade do you like? Ausar and Keyshawn George or Sarr and Mathurin? Which side of that trade do you like, Doc?
For me, it's Sarr and Mathurin, and it's not close.
For me, it's Sarr and Mathurin, and it's not close. It's not close. I'm not that high on Ausar this year, dude. I'm not. I love him and all that stuff, but his role, the team construction, I don't see a pop. I don't. Keyshawn George, they got a lot of dudes. I mean, obviously I like Keyshawn George, but I don't know what his role is right now. We need to see some preseason results.
Keyshawn just doesn't do anything special. Sarr has a chance to be special. Mathurin has a chance to start. There's so much more upside there. And Sarr is hurt though, right? Is that correct?
He had a little thing at Eurobasket, but I don't believe, unless Andre's going to tell me something differently. I did not hear anything from Eurobasket and the thing that he had that caused me to change my rankings. I'm still game on with Alex Sarr. It is Alex Sarr draft season right now.
Okay.
Right now. Right in this moment. So yeah, I'm with you. I would much rather have the Sarr and Mathurin side. Ricardo, we really appreciate you. We are out, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the draft guide is live at sportsethos.com right now. We love you all. For Andre, for Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, I am Rick Kamla. Thank you so much for watching the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel, and we will see you again on Tuesday, folks. Peace out.